Hello. How are you doing this afternoon?
Good. How about yourself?
Wonderful. Thank you for asking. Well, Mr. Luther, would you mind if we ask you a few brief questions?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Excellent. Well, for starters, what is your opinion on the tattoo culture among today's youth?
Well, I definitely believe it's changed a lot in the past couple decades, especially in our own generation, the current college students of today. It's definitely a much more accepted thing in today's society, as it would not be as accepted, 15, 20 years ago, like such as our parents' generations. They wouldn't have been as willing to accept that kind of body enhancement as openly as we do today.
Fair enough. Very good. Let's see. What is your opinion on the recently increasing trend of stick and poke tattoos among today's youth?
I definitely think it's interesting to say the least. They can be a fun form of expressing oneself, or just kind of exploring the culture and art that is tattoo culture. It's completely different than a real tattoo. Comes out looking very differently, and it's a very different process. It's not for everybody, but if you think it is for you, well, I say why not?
Excellent. Do you think there's a distinction between the type of individuals who choose stick and poke tattoos as opposed to parlor style, professionally done tattoos?
Well, from my experience, most people who tend to lean one way or the other will have experience with both types and just want to explore both methods. And generally, I'd say people that lean towards the stick and poke or prison style tattoos are a little more edgier, or kind of grunge.
Excellent. I see. Are you familiar with the term hipster?
Yeah, it's definitely a term that gets thrown around left and right in the past, I don't know, 5, 8 years.
Yes, it is. Do you know of anyone who may categorize under that label?
I'd say there's any kind of walk of life you walk into, you're going to find people who fall into the hipster category.
Agreed. What would you consider yourself to be? Would you consider yourself among the hipster label, or no?
Well, I'd be lying if I hadn't been already identified as under the hipster label by many others. And I guess I would agree to some point, depending on how you personally define hipster, because it's definitely a very loose term that can be changed and mixed up and modified to suit whoever is describing an individual to get across the image that they want to talk about.
Excellent. Do you believe there is any sort of correlation between those who fall into that loose hipster category and the type of tattoos they get, as opposed to stick and poke versus parlor style tattoos?
I'd say in the general culture, and just based on looking at social media or tattoo websites and things of that nature, you'll find that people that generally fall into the hipster category will follow a certain kind of tattoo style. And since one of those common styles is either American traditional, which is a lot of straight, clean lines and simple colors, I'd say they'd be more prone to be accepting of stick and poke tattoos, since that's a very similar style with straight lines, because you can't do as much with a single needle that you can do with a tattoo gun.
Excellent. So where do you think the tattoo culture among today's youth may be headed? Such as stick and poke and parlor style tattoos. Do you think there may be an increasing popularity among them, an increasing trend, or are they on the downfall? What do you think of this?
I would say that parlor style and stick and poke are definitely not on the same trend line. Stick and pokes, I'd say, are more common in the youth and are more of a passing phase as a either experimental phase or a rebellious phase of someone, trying to figure out what they want to decorate their body with or explore how they want to pursue art. But I would definitely say the parlor style tattoos have the potential to grow and explode with our upcoming generation and generations to follow, with the amount of acceptance that they're gaining in today's world.
I see. Finally, what is your honest opinion on the hipster non-conformist title? Aside from tattoo culture, do you have any thoughts you would like to express on the subject? And similar to your opinions on the stick and poke tattoo trend, do you believe that it is going to pass with the times?
Will the hipster trend pass with times?
Yes.
Well, I guess I'd start with my opinion on the hipster term. Is that things similar to it have come and gone with other generations, such as the 60s and 70s, whenever rebellious culture was very big in society, which goes along with the modern term of hipster or non-conformist, where it's people trying to go out of the norm and express their self in ways that is different than is expected. So I'd say that the hipster term, or however you associate the word hipster, is going to continue to live on, but may change in forms as it grows and as the world changes. But similar to tattoos, I guess the tattoos, I think, will continue to have popularity since they've been around for hundreds of years, and I think so will people willing to break the norm.
Excellent. Well, thank you. This has been an interview with Dan Luther. Thank you.